Hey, it's Ari here from Sorn, and in this video, I'm just going to walk you through how we quadrupled the traffic from ChatGPT for an insurance brokerage in Florida, and how that directly resulted in high income, high intent, and high value leads for this specific insurance brokerage. So the first thing is you're probably asking, how can you track the results from ChatGPT traffic, from AI traffic, right? So there's different ways to track it. First of all, there are tools such as, for example, Audit, where we're tracking the brand coverage. So if you go back here, you can see this for a client, brand coverage was around 18%. With time, you can see how that is going higher and higher. And how that gets tracked is we're tracking a bunch of relevant prompts in this space and in this niche. And every day, this tool takes a snapshot of, it types in that prompt, and then which companies get recommended for those specific prompts that we're targeting. That is how that gets tracked, okay? Another thing to keep in mind is that every time somebody clicks on a result from ChatGPT, it automatically attaches a UTM parameter, a UTM link. And because of that, we can track that from within Google Analytics. You can see here we're tracking organic search traffic, organic social, but then of course AI traffic. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that everything goes up across the board, but the AI traffic is extremely high intent. So we see this across all of our different clients, that traffic from AI engines, when they come from ChatGPT or Perplexity or any of the other LLM engines, it tends to be more qualified, higher intent, more likely to convert. And that's exactly what happened here. The traffic that was coming from ChatGPT was higher intent, and the client ended up closing multiple deals within a few weeks of this really picking up. So now you're probably wondering, okay, what do you need to do to start ranking on top of ChatGPT? Isn't that just normal SEO? And the answer is yes and no. As in, if you have good foundations with traditional SEO, of course it helps with this, but it's not the full picture, okay? Traditional SEO is about keyword stuffing, building strong backlinks, and of course the content as well. Here with AI SEO, it's a lot more about the context, the semantics, the meaning, the intent behind the prompts which you are answering. So AI is so much more smart at understanding all these different components compared to what Google was in the last 20 years. So in terms of where AI is looking, so this little robot here, that's ChatGPT, Perplexity, the other LLMs. There's three main areas where it's looking at. So one part is, of course, your website. So that is what is happening on your website. So as an example here, right? So it's looking through your whole website. It's looking at the service pages, the home page. Of course, the content pages. Similar to traditional SEO, it is looking at the content pages and what you're writing there. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to find out what are the highest leverage prompts that you need to be targeting. What are people asking when they go inside of ChatGPT and they're looking for your specific niche? And then you have to answer those prompts in a way that is high value and that genuinely solves their problem. The difference here is it's not just about stuffing as many keywords as possible. It's about actually matching the intent of your content to the intent of what people are looking for. So for example, for our client here, the insurance brokerage in Tampa, they really wanted to go after high net worth insurance. So people that have a high net worth, they're looking for certain insurance packages, insurance premiums, and insurance offers. So we made sure to position ourselves to answer the questions which those high net worth people are asking. So as an example, here's this one article, and we are matching the intent to the dot of what people are looking for, these high net worth people. And we are answering those questions in a way that makes it easy to understand from the AI engines. And that makes it much easier for your content to start getting cited first by ChatGPT. And you track that through different ways. So here we can see all the different times that our content got cited. Here's an example. And then from there, as you start getting cited, what starts happening is ChatGPT starts recommending you. when people in your niche are looking for specific answers, you become the trusted source because you are doing a better job of matching that intent. And then ChatGPT starts recommending you as the go-to business that can offer that. The next part is related to that. So one part is the actual matching of the intent, of course, but the other part is the actual structure. So the structure of your website, I'm trying to write website here. Okay. Pretend that it means website. The structure of your website has a huge role to play. And the structure of your content has a huge role to play in what are the chances that AI is going to, first of all, parse your content, understand your content, and then start recommending you. So there's a lot of different structural elements which are very important, but I'll give you some examples right now. AI loves comparison tables, FAQ sections, table of contents, about the author sections, key takeaway sections at the top. There's all these different elements. These are just some examples. I'll show you real quick what this looks like in this case. So here, for example, this comparison table is very, very high leverage. And it works really well because we're seeing this content get cited a lot when we're tracking and Auditly as well. So this is an example of a comparison table, which makes it much easier for the AI engines to start pulling this data, pulling this information, and then from there start recommending the information, but also your website when people are actually looking for this inside of ChatGPT. Okay, so it's the intent matching of the content, it's the structure as well. Now, the next part is it's also looking at the technical makeup of your website. Now, of course, there's some overlap between traditional SEO and this, but there are also some nuances and differences. I will give you one example. There's like 100 little things that you should be doing, but one thing that you should implement right now is, talk to your dev, talk to your development team, your website team, or whoever it is. Tell them to look into your schema structured data. Schema structured data is the labels that you are putting to the different parts of your site in the eyes of Google and in the eyes of the AI engines. And when you set it up properly with proper labeling in the eyes of the robots, in the eyes of the crawlers, you make it easier for AI and Google to understand what your content is about. And then you make it easier for them to start recommending you and driving traffic to you. There's different ways to test that. So here is an example. This is an official rich results test for this client. And you can see here that we have this type of structured data. So we have product snippets, articles, breadcrumbs, local business schema, organization, review snippets. These are all different types of structured data, which all increase your visibility and the ability of AI to pull data from your site and then, in effect, start recommending you to users. So that's one example. Definitely send this to your developers. Tell them, check my structured data for schema and start adding these different types of schema structured data to your website. That is a huge one. Again, there's a lot more. The final part, but not the least, is the off-page signals. Sorry, I'm trying to paint an arrow here. The off-page signals. So that is a big one. Of course, with traditional SEO, backlinking is a huge thing. Here, of course, backlinks are still a factor, but they are not as big of a factor as with traditional SEO compared to other sources. So here you have, traditional backlinks, that's one thing. You have Wikipedia, that's another big one. You have YouTube, that's another big one as well. So it's actually looking at the titles, the headlines, the descriptions of YouTube videos, and it's using that as citation sources in order to decide who to recommend. And then one of the biggest ones, the elephant in the room, is actually Reddit. Reddit owns 30 to 40% of citation share as of the making of this video, which means that from all the different places where ChatGPT is looking to make its decisions and who to recommend, again, it's leveraging Reddit, and it's using Reddit as a huge part of those signals, okay? So if you go on Reddit, there's subreddits for everything. So you can even type in your niche and then Reddit, and you're going to see a lot of different relevant subreddits. For example, how to find a good agent and broker. This is an insurance subreddit with 432,000 weekly visitors. And so if somebody were to, let's say you have an insurance brokerage, like our client here, if somebody were to recommend you recommend your insurance brokerage, this would act as another positive signal, another off-page signal, and it would then increase the chance that ChatGPT will start recommending you when people are asking ChatGPT for insurance brokerages in their area or nationwide or wherever they are. So that's another big one. Get on Reddit, have a strategy for Reddit, and start building positive Reddit sentiment. Okay, so we combined all these three main aspects in terms of the content, the structure, the technical side, the off-page signals, and then we started seeing these kind of spikes in traffic. As you can see, we started seeing the brand coverage start going higher, and of course, from the words of our client as well, high intent, high value leads coming in, specifically in this case, high net worth insurance leads, which are worth a lot of money. So you got to keep in mind, AI is great if you're selling, also, especially if you're selling something higher ticket, something that's more expensive. The volume is, of course, lower compared to Google, but the traffic that does come is much more qualified. So that's how we increase traffic by 400% inside of the AI engines. As a side effect, we actually also increased traffic on Google, but then we started getting some very high value leads coming in from the AI engines. If you have an insurance brokerage, or it doesn't even have to be an insurance brokerage, if you have a business that is selling something that's more expensive, this is the time to get on this. This is the time to start optimizing your business for AI, for ChatGPT, for Perplexity. This is the next frontier of search. And this is where companies are going to get ahead. If you're curious as to whether myself and my team can help you, go onto our site, sorn.ai, and then book a free audit. Talk to you then.